guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have two great recipes for single serving casseroles. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire. Welcome. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. I do a lot of single serving recipes over here on this channel, so if you like that type of content, be sure to hit subscribe. Today we're doing casseroles, and I don't think I've maybe shared any of these before on this channel ever, but I do love a casserole, okay? I love a home style, old fashioned, belly filling casserole. It's a vibe, right? But a lot of times I don't want to make a whole 9x13 pan of said casserole. I just want one. So if you are like me, then this video is for you. So I will say I am using meat in both of my recipes today. However, it would be really easy to omit the meat or swap it out for a meat alternative if that fits your diet a little better. Just letting you know. Everything is customizable to your own tastes and preferences. Also, if you look at this and think you could make a bunch of these and meal prep them, you also could do that too in individual containers. If you like a meal prep vibe, you could also do that with these recipes as well. And with that, let's get started on the first recipe. We are making a classic chicken and rice casserole. Now, the reason that this sometimes feels hard to do in one serving is because when you make like a real classic one, it uses a can of condensed soup. And I do not want to open a can if I'm only going to use something small out of it, unless it's like beans or corn or something that I can make another thing with. Condensed soup just like isn't one of those things for me. I don't have a lot of applications for a partial can of condensed soup. So we have done a little reconfiguring to make that great creamy classic taste without using the condensed soup. So here we go. And of course, feel free to substitute any of these things for your own personal preferences. Basically, we have rice, we have chicken, we have sour cream, vegetables, and seasoning. You can, use what vegetables you want, use what seasoning you want, but follow this basic formula and you'll make something delicious. So we're going to start out with our rice, and I'm just using regular plain old white rice, and I'm going to be using 1/4 cup, but I'm going to rinse it first. Just a little note on ratios here. For the rice, the ratio is 1 to 2. 1 part rice, 2 parts liquid. So if you want less rice, adjust the liquid as necessary. If you want more rice, you can cut down the meat, double the rice to stretch your budget a little further. Just remember that ratio and adjust accordingly. So because I used 1/4 cup of rice, I'm using 1/2 cup of liquid. Now, you can use like stock or broth. That's gonna make it the most flavorful. However, like I said before, I don't wanna open a can if I'm not gonna use the whole can. So I'm using water. You can just use water, it will turn out fine. I'm gonna add that to our container now. Now for our sour cream, I am doing also 1/4 cup. As far as seasonings go, you could really go wild with this. Today, I am using some Italian dressing seasoning mix. I love the dressing mixes, like the ranch pouch and the Italian pouch. There's a lot of different things you can use them for other than dressing. And it goes great in this because it has a blend of everything. And that way it just like cuts down the amount of time you're doing stuff. And also there is quite a bit of salt in it as well, so keep that in mind. And for this, I'm going to do 2 nice big teaspoons. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little mix, and then we're gonna talk about the solids. This is like our rice base, then we're gonna add everything else. All right, because I want this to be a complete meal in our casserole, we are gonna throw our veggies in. I have selected some spinach from the freezer because it was 72 cents for this bag. I got it on sale and I just put it right in the freezer, and this is like the perfect way to sort of use it. So I'm gonna use spinach. The other thing, I just have to share this with you because it's possibly the most exciting thing that's happened to me in a long time. This is my first ever harvest of asparagus. Okay, that one got a little droopy, but look, I grew this. I planted this asparagus 3 years ago, and I've been waiting years to harvest it and eat it, and today was the day. So I'm gonna put my asparagus in our casserole. I'm just obviously thrilled that this is happening, but use whatever you got. Of course, the most budget-friendly option is to use the thing you already have. So like a handful of frozen broccoli, a chopped up bell pepper, maybe some mushrooms, frozen peas, even canned vegetables, whatever you have laying around, whatever you're going to actually eat and enjoy, throw that veggie in as much as you want of it, honestly. I've just got this amount of asparagus and, you know, a nice little handful of our spinach. I'm gonna go ahead and just chop it up. Seriously, I don't think I've ever been so excited to eat something from my garden as I am for this asparagus. And of course, there will be more to come. I do like to go through and break off any like super heinously long stems. I don't love a big old stem in what I'm eating, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Now for our chicken, I have selected boneless, skinless chicken thighs because I believe that is the elite cut of chicken. That is my favorite. And I'm just gonna do one today. I think that's gonna be plenty for me. And so that it cooks all at like the same time as the rice, I am going to cut it up because I definitely don't want like perfectly cooked rice with a piece of raw chicken in the center. I am gonna throw some pepper on these because our Italian seasoning mix is not very peppery. It's pretty salty, but it's not peppery. So a nice healthy dose of pepper. Gonna throw that right on top. There we go. She's ready for the oven. All right, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. You don't even have to cover it. It's fine just as it is, and we are going to bake this for about 35 minutes. I've found in the past when I have done a breast instead of a thigh, it takes just a little bit longer. So depending on if you threw a leg in there with a bone, depending on your cut of chicken, it's gonna vary between 30 and 40 minutes, but 35 is good for a boneless, skinless thigh. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Perfection. And of course, if you wanted the least amount of dishes, you could let it cool and eat it right out of here. However, I'm hungry. I got stuff to do today, so I am gonna move it from this container into this bowl. But as you see, it's nice and creamy. Our rice is nice and tender. Oh my gosh, so good. The chicken is cooked perfectly. I think in a perfect world, throwing a little Parmesan on top of this would be really good, but I don't have any, so I'm not going to. And that is a super easy and very tasty belly filler. It's so good. Oh my gosh. The asparagus is so good. I'm so happy about that. All right, you guys, time for casserole number 2. We are making a breakfast casserole, which is one of my favorite things ever. I love breakfast food. I think breakfast food should be eaten at all times of day. In our house, we lovingly call breakfast for dinner brinner. So feel free to eat this whenever you want, not just for breakfast time, but it would be good for breakfast. Also, before we get started on this one, little hack for you. I buy like an Easter ham, very cheap, post-Easter, and then I chop it all up, and then I put it in these vacuum sealed bags in my freezer so that I have very inexpensive ham already portioned out. Actually, I was gonna make soup out of this, but then I decided I should put a little bit of it in my casserole today. So the rest will go for soup, but just a thought. If you are a budget conscious person like me, think ahead with your ham. Also, you could skip the ham, or you could use sausage would be really good, or bacon, keeping in that sort of breakfast vibe. So use the meat you like. Also, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the container I'm using. It's from IKEA, but you could use Pyrex or any like oven safe container that makes sense for you. I will say, I didn't get this at IKEA. I got it at the thrift store. You can really often find these at the thrift store. So if you need something like this, if you don't have something oven safe, go to a garage sale, go to a thrift store, or, you know, get a piece of Pyrex. All right, first thing for our breakfast casserole, frozen hash browns. I love using frozen hash browns as an ingredient because it takes so much work out of what you need to do. If you want to shred a fresh potato, like, do that. It's fine. We're going with convenience here. However, I need them to be thawed. So I'm gonna put these in the microwave until they're just a little bit softer than this so that they cook with everything else. All right, they're not like warm or anything, but they are no longer frozen, so that's perfect. Now we're going to prep what we're gonna add, and this is all up to you based on what you have laying around. I have pepper and I have some mushrooms, and much like a great quiche, these are things that I really enjoy. But you could use onions, you could use whatever leftover veggies you had from last night. You could use asparagus. I don't have any more. I'll have to wait a few days, but you could use asparagus or, you know, whatever. Toss it right in there. Banjo, do you want mushroom? Oh, there you go. Oh, just a baby one of mushroom? There. Oh, oh, there it is. Get it. Now I'm going to add some of my pre-cooked ham, and it's already all chopped up for me nice, and just like a handful. I would say that's about half a cup. Now I'm going to crack 2 eggs. And I'm gonna use half a cup of milk. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I just eyeball my cup, my half a cup, because I don't want to dirty another dish. I don't know. Do you do that? Now to season. Because my ham is quite salty, I'm just gonna add a dash of salt, but not too much. I'm gonna throw a bunch of pepper on there. We're gonna do a little shake of garlic powder. We're gonna do a little shake of onion powder. I'm even gonna throw a few shakes of Worcestershire in there, just for a little smokiness. Add the egg bit. And now we're just going to mix it all together. This is such a great high protein option too, with all those eggs and stuff. If you did make this for breakfast, it would keep you so full. I'm actually having this for dinner tonight. And actually this week at Aldi, the sliced cheese was on sale. It was cheaper than the shredded cheese or the block cheese. And I always buy what's cheapest. There is no rule that you can't use a slice of cheese instead of shredded cheese, okay? So we're gonna shred it ourselves. Look at that. If you've watched me before, then you know I'm a type B cook, okay? This is not a gourmet kitchen. This is a, we're gonna figure out how to cook this so that we can survive kind of kitchen, okay? And you know what? It always turns out good. There we go. There's our casserole. Time to put it in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees and it's gonna take about 35 to 40 minutes. Of course, alternatively, you could do this in a toaster oven because it's such a small dish, or in your air fryer. You're just gonna have to adjust the times as such. Basically, we just need it to get done enough so that the egg is done in there, and you can just look at it and tell. So if you're using an air fryer or a toaster oven, just keep an eye on it. You'll be fine. Oh my gosh, it's like golden brown and bubbly. Look at this. My gosh. Oh, I want to eat this so bad. I'm so hungry. And I'm just gonna take half of it for right now, but for a whole meal's worth of food here, the whole thing is, you know, a vibe. Oh, look at that. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. For breakfast, maybe half. But for me, for dinner, the whole thing. The potatoes are nice and tender. The pepper still has retained a little bit of snap. It's not like totally soggy, which is great. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel inspired to maybe create your own sort of single serving casseroles. Hopefully I've proven to you that you can still have those like classic old school home style casseroles just for one. You don't need the whole pan. Leave me a comment. Let me know. What did you think of this video? Are your wheels turning? Are you going to make your own recreations of any of these? What are you putting in yours? Let me know. Of course, come on back for more content like this. Be sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.